Well, I hope you're ready for some unindoctrination. I'm not even going to try to make up a story or lie to you. I didn't even know about the time change, so I got a little bit behind the eight ball. So, if you ever wonder what does Jeff look like when he rolls out of bed in the morning, well, sort of like this. Only I didn't just roll out of bed, but I've been doing the work to get ready to bring you this podcast excellence. So, haven't showered or any of that. So, here we are. It's just us. It's just us friends. And we're here to talk today about some important information. We'll be back tomorrow night, Monday night, late night in the Heartland, 10 p.m. Central Time. Let's see if we got word back from the Bigfoot guy. No, not yet, but he'll be on this week. And tomorrow, I think we're talking about when 3 days and 3 nights isn't. Very interesting, I think very fun and an enjoyable and enlightening topic tomorrow. And of course, your calls for 2 hours. But today, folks, we are going to talk about something that we try to talk about every Sunday. We try to get into the white Dianetics. And today we're starting to get down into the nitty gritty. Somebody said, Dianetics, what? How can you talk about Dianetics? That's horrible. That's terrible. That's awful. Well, you see, I'm here to take you outside the normal paradigms. I'm here to get you through to the places that you will never go. I'm here to show you things that you will never see. And I am here to take you to where no man has gone before. We're here to take you places that you'd never get taken anywhere else. And we all know, without a shadow of a doubt, that our world is governed, ruled, and dominated by what we loosely term MK Ultra mind control. Now, it's many different things, but MK Ultra mind control does provide a convenient heading for us to place all of the energetic, and I would say even the particulate and food type of control that's placed upon our minds. You have no doubt, those of you that are watching this show, you've got no doubt that MK Ultra mind control is real. You've got no doubt that MK Ultra mind control is used against people. You would fight about it. You would argue about it. You would demand that you're right. And you are. But what you're not right about, because you're being lied, cheated, and stolen from, is the fact that MK Ultra is real, is being levied against you, is being used against you. The fact that MK Ultra is real shows you that black Dianetics are real, which shows you that white Dianetics are real. Because as I've proven to you over and over, and I'll continue to do so, MK Ultra is reverse engineered white Dianetics, ergo it's black Dianetics. So you can realize and understand and discover with us the fact that we have been MK Ultra through black Dianetics. Or you can ignore that and just say it's the bad guys. You can be empowered or you can be overcome. I'm here to tell you and to show you and to prove to you that MK Ultra is black Dianetics. And yeah, it's bad, but guess what? We got white Dianetics. They reverse engineered something that works to set men and women free and used it to enslave us. Well, we're just here because we don't give a shit about subscribers, even though we love our subscribers. And I had, I'm not big on dreams, so I don't think I had a dream, but I think I had a realization that I know it's already March, and I know we're at just about 51,000, but I can see 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year. I really can. I really can. I don't know why I threw that out. I just wanted to throw that out. But we're allowing ourselves to be dominated by the bad. But for some reason, and there's a lot of reasons, we won't allow ourselves to realize that the bad came from something very, very good. And if we would just quit focusing on the bad and focus on the good, we'd get people free. But we wouldn't get as many subscribers and we wouldn't have as much AdSense dollars. See, there's not many of us that do this that don't give a shit about those things. There's not many of us that don't care about the subscribers and the ad dollars. There's not many of us, but there are some of us. So today we work and we look and we talk about the work of the auditor. And if you aren't mature enough to handle this, I'm sorry, but it is what it is, and we're here to help set people free. And here's another thing. Jeff, it's a pyramid. Have you become a Freemason? No, I got invited to be a Freemason, but didn't apply. Jeff, what makes you think you know and everybody else doesn't know? Well, I don't know. I just know a lot of things that other people don't know because I've done a lot of things and I've been a lot of places that other people haven't been. A lot of people didn't spend. I have a Bible college degree. I do. A lot of people don't have a regular college degree in geography, and it's not archaeology. It's the other one that deals with culture and people's anthropology. I don't know why. A lot of people didn't spend 25 years in the Christian ministry, 20 of it full time. A lot of people weren't in the top 10 producers in a sales industry. A lot of people haven't walked in Adolf Hitler's lair and heard his voice. A lot of people haven't cast out demons and watched eyes grow back and goiters fall off. A lot of people haven't done that. I have. So I've got a base of experience and knowledge that is rather rare. Doesn't make me great, just makes me a person that has a lot of information that can share. It does make me the best in the world at what I do. I mean, that's just the way it is. But my job is because I'm the best in the world at what I do. In fact, the only one in the world that does what I do. I can help you become the best in the world at what you do. And that's what's really important. The pyramid, this pyramid represents the 4 basic dynamics, ladies and gentlemen. You taking control of your life. Boom. You taking control of your sexuality and your symbiotes, those that you produce. You helping take control of your community and your immediacy as far as relationships. You helping to change your nation. And they keep going on, but they only showed the basic 4 there. So this is about you unindoctrinating you, unindoctrinating yours, unindoctrinating theirs, and then unindoctrinating all of ours. That's what it's about. So don't sweat the small stuff, and don't let these people that have put bad things in your mind corrupt you. So don't sweat it, just do it. Any person who's intelligent and possessed of average persistency and who's willing to read the book, and I'm rewriting the book. Here's the book right now. And it's pre-1972 book. You got to get that one. It's in the playlist, the Create Yourself playlist. If you're willing to read this book, and I'm rewriting it for Dianetics for a new generation, condensing it a little bit, making it a little more user-friendly. If you'll read it, if you'll study, you can become a Dianetic auditor. I don't want to be an auditor. Yes, you do, because you want to audit yourself. You want to audit yourself. You want to get yourself clear. And once you've cleared 2 or 3 cases, you'll know far more, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cousins of all ages, than any book or instructor can provide you, because nothing develops understanding of the machine like watching it work in real time. I can tell you about auditing. I can describe to you about auditing, but until you audit yourself and start working with other people, you won't understand what it's like. It's like trying to explain to you what chocolate tastes like. You've just got to taste some chocolate. Now, contrary to superstition about the mind, oh, Jeff, you better be careful. Oh, Jeff, I'm worried about this white Dianetics. I'm afraid you might mess some people up. Well, in case you haven't noticed, there's a lot of shit out there that's messing people up. But contrary to superstition, the mind, your analytical mind, is almost impossible to permanently injure. See, they want you to think you're fragile and you're a little snowflake. But the reality is that it's almost impossible to damage permanently the mechanism of your mind. Now, it can be done with electric shock. It can be done with a scalpel. It can be done with ice pick. It can be done with hypnotism. But it is all but impossible to permanently injure somebody's mind with Dianetic work. Almost impossible unless you're using black Dianetics. Unless you're using MK Ultra, black Dianetics, then you can permanently damage someone's mind. But see, our entire work is white Dianetics. And what we're here to do is to remove the reactive mind, which is analogous to your reptile mind, to remove that Ingram bank, which is the reptile shit that pops up, and to remove those demon circuits. They're not really demons, but they act like demons. And when we get that, a release is when most of that stress is gone. A clear is when it's completely removed. And how far you want to go is up to you and how much time you have. Now, what is the role of the auditor? And as I was sitting down, I realized that the Sanhedrin, the Limpants, the Freemasons, the New World Order, the globalists, the Jesuits, the Sanhedrin, the big they. No one else will identify it, but I tell you, it's the Sanhedrin. Same old rulers as the last rulers. They've even given us an Ingram about the word audit. When you hear audit, what do? Your butthole puckers automatically, right? Because when you hear audit, whoop, you get a little butthole pucker. And you know that if you butthole pucker men, if you can master the butthole pucker, you can help yourself extend your stamina and sexuality. I just thought I'd throw that in there. I don't know why it's free. It's Sunday. A little bit of help. That's right. You just tighten that sphincter up. And yeah. See, like I said, it's a wealth of information, ladies and gentlemen. But they've given us an Ingram about the word audit. You hear the word audit. Ooh, I don't want that. And that's exactly what we need. And the auditor's job is to safeguard the person's identity during the work of removing Ingrams, to strengthen their reserve to remove Ingrams, and to give them the tenacity to go after those Ingrams. And folks, you're not alone at this. There's a vast number of affinities at work. There's a vast network of cooperative endeavor, beginning with LRH himself. Do you know that when you use the work that LRH cobbled together and pioneered to audit yourself, and you don't really audit yourself, when you begin to get to the place where you start doing self-auditing, it's really you're being audited by LRH. That's the way the material's written. That's the way it's intended. And I really don't care if you think it's crazy, because it works every time it's tried. And either you'll try it and it'll work, or you won't and it won't. And it's up to you. I'm not here. I'm just tossing keys in cages. If you want to pick up the key, unlock your cage and be free, good. If not, let the key lie there. I've got plenty more, but I'm not going to sit there and try to beg you to pick up the key. Just can't do it. Don't have time. But where was I going with that? I can't remember, but we'll get back to it. Folks, you've got to understand that we're here to safeguard as an auditor the person's identity during the work, to strengthen their reserve, and to get those Ingrams. But only they can do it. And there's a vast number of affinities, so you won't be trying to clear yourself. You will be being audited by LRH as you use the materials. And the people that you're helping audit will be being audited by you, and it's an affinity. There's an energy. Whether you believe whatever you believe about, I'll just say it, LRH is still with us in an energetic form. His residual energy by the information that he provided is still with us in a residual form. And whenever we enter into the energy of wanting to help ourselves and help others, we're tapping into that beautiful, powerful affinity. And this came at a very timely time for me. That's a little redundant, but it is what it is. This came at a good time for me because it reminded me after, Magenta Pixie reminded me, and my great wife continually reminds me, but for some reason I always listen to her, that the Ingram is the target. not the client. And you know me, I can get a little targeted at people. It sounds like I'm being targeted at people, but I'm really not. Very rarely do I ever go after a person unless they deserve it. But I often go after ideas that are personified by a person, and that is something that I need to work on. I need to react with passion against evil, but compassion towards those that are being afflicted and affected by evil. So we're working on that. And the Ingram is the target, not the client. And anytime you're working with someone, even yourself, and there's diatribes directed, cussing, spitting, swinging, doesn't happen often, but those are the Ingrams talking, not the individual. And it's the poor, irrational auditor that takes any of it personally. Don't take it personally. It's not about you. But Jeff, you don't understand. Everything's about me. Well, that can't be true because everything's about me. See what I'm saying? We have to grow up. The only thing that resists the auditor is the Ingram. And everything that resists the auditor is Ingramic. Now, I want to share a big bomb with you. The only thing that resists you in your effort to reduce your reptilian mind and increase your analytical mind, the only thing that would resist that effort and process, and anything that would resist that effort and process, is an Ingram, a demon circuit. And everything that resists you in your efforts to do that, no matter what it is, no matter who it is Ingramic based. It's not you. It's not anything you've done. It's what's been done to you that makes you who and what you are. And you can turn that around and use it for you, or you can allow it to be a weight that drives you into the dust. Now, in regards to Ingrams, there's 5 things you can do with them, and 4 of them are wrong. Wrong being defined by it doesn't produce survival-enhancing results. You can succumb to an Ingram and move into apathy. And apathy is like the last thing before death. So keep that in mind. When you've given up, you're like, oh, shit, I'll just put on the mask that they tell me to. I'll just take the jab that they tell me to. I'll just stay in my house like they tell me to. You're in apathy and you're almost dead. And then neglecting to deal with your Ingrams is careless. Sooner or later, they're going to cause you problems. Avoiding them is cowardly. So is fleeing them. In regards to Ingrams, the only thing that is helpful is to attack them. Attack is the only correct action. Nothing else will do. And an auditor, folks, is there to make sure that the client continues to attack and attack and attack and attack. And then if they can't figure out what to do, they attack until all the Ingrams are cleared. And they will fester under the surface, and you will deal with them. You will either deal with them or they will deal with you. And as I'm learning and understanding and growing, auditor attacking client is bad gunnery and poor logic. That's a direct quote from LRH. So I have to be more precise in my gunnery, and I have to be more effective in my logic. Attacking people isn't smart. Attacking ideas that are afflicting people is smart. So I got to remember that the fear and guilt-based, trauma-based mind control matrix that is Christianity is evil, but there's many people enslaved in it that are not evil. So we're going to continue to keep that in mind as we go and grow and progress in this work. What we're looking for is the bedrock, the big kahuna. We're looking for basic. And basic is the bottom line. And the Ingram Bank is best attacked by discharging its emotional charge anywhere it can be contacted. You start working with someone, emotions come up, you deal with them, you discharge them, they go away. But what we're trying to do with ourselves and with the people that we will eventually work with is we Find what we call basic. And the best way to do that is to help someone ask themselves, what would happen if you got better? What would happen if you got well? What would happen if you got found out? Lay all the bullshit aside, expose it all, and find basic. That is the first Ingram that you ever received. And most of the time, it's going to be a great percentage of the time, it's going to be in the womb, or perhaps even before the womb in a prior incarnation, which I think might not even be prior incarnations, but it might be parallel incarnations. What if past lives aren't? Because time isn't really a thing, right? Time isn't really linear. Time is. So what if past lives aren't? They're just parallel lives. And if there are parallel lives, you can either be pulled down by a less than survival, less than optimized parallel life, or you can be lifted up by your super optimized parallel lives. Ooh, how about that? How about that? But once you find basic, the case will be cleared quickly and easily. But it's hard sometimes to find basic. It's even harder if you don't look. Very interesting stuff, ladies and gentlemen. And generally speaking, in all therapeutics, there's 3 levels of healing. The first level of healing is getting the job done efficiently, effectively. The second level of healing is making the patient comfortable. And the third level of healing is sympathy. The reason why I'm so good at Dianetics is because Dianetics only deals with being efficient. Dianetics doesn't care about making you comfortable, and Dianetics damn sure don't care about being sympathetic with you. How am I doing so far? Sympathy is not one of my problems. Wanting to comfort people is not one of my problems. That's one of my wife's problems, kind of. She wants to be sympathetic towards everybody. She wants to be empathetic towards everybody, not me. I want to be efficient. That's why a person that wants to be efficient can get teamed up with a person that wants to be empathetic and sympathetic, and they can make one hell of a team. Because I learn and I listen. But Dianetics only cares about being efficient. Because not only are wanting to make the patient comfortable and being sympathetic towards the patient or the client, not only are they not helpful, they're actually counterproductive in Dianetic work. Because making the client comfortable is a waste of time. I don't care if they're sitting on tacks. Well, no, they have to be, physically comfortable, but trying to make them feel better, we don't care about trying to make them feel better. We care about trying to get them clear. And giving them sympathy will actually blow the whole deal and make things much worse because 75% of Ingrams, 75% plus of demon circuits are sympathy based. It's called victimology. Oh, I'm a victim. If it wasn't for my mama not giving me the titty, if it wasn't for my dad giving me what he shouldn't have given me, and I'm not saying those things are right, but you have a choice of whether you want to be a victim or a victor. You can get involved in white Dianetics and it'll make you a victor, or you can stay you can stay against it and be a victim. It's just that simple. So I'm not here to try to make you feel comfortable. Quite the opposite. I'm here to try to make you feel uncomfortable, because guess what? There's nothing remarkable in your comfort zone. There's no release in your comfort zone. There's no clearing in your comfort zone. I am here to make you uncomfortable. When you come to this channel, you're going to be uncomfortable. You're going to cringe a little bit. You're going to be like Cynthia. I can see her out there half the time just shaking her head and like, oh, why? You're going to be uncomfortable when you come here because there's nothing remarkable within your comfort zone. I was in sales for a lot of years, and they used to say there's no money in your comfort zone because you don't want to ask people to buy, and then you don't want to ask them to buy again, and you surely don't ask them to buy again. But that's most of your sales occur after 5 or 6 times of asking someone to buy. But most of us aren't persistent enough to, number one, be in sales, but number two, to get to a place of victory in our lives because we try it. Wow, I tried and it didn't. Most of you won't even try. And then some of you will try once. Oh, I tried, it didn't work. Well, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Okay, I tried twice, it doesn't work. Listen, most of your victories, most of your wins are going to come after the 6th, 7th, 8th try. Think about it. I remember reading Tesla and Edison. Well, Mr. Edison, you've had 150 failures with the electric light bulb. He goes, no, I've had 150 successes because I found 150 ways that it won't work. It's like being at a bar and wanting to ask pretty girls to dance. You ask enough of them to dance, your ass is going to be dancing. Now, it might take you a while, and you might have to ask a few, but if you keep asking, you'll get a dance. And unless you're stupid, if you keep asking, you keep getting turned down, you'll start refining your procedure and you'll get better at it. But giving people sympathy will make things worse because most Ingrams are sympathy-based. The auditor that engages in hand padding, slowing down the process, and creating more problems. So you can't be a hand patter for yourself. Oh, Jeff, it's okay. You didn't get the titty enough when you were a baby. Oh, it's all right, Jeff. Oh, Jeff, it's bad. And oh, Jeff, it was Adam and Eve. They did it. I inherited sin from Adam and Eve. As long as you believe that, you're not getting out of here and you're not going to be free and you're not going to be clear. There's a thing called the Auditor's Code. And even though we're not here to be sympathetic, even though we're not here to be empathetic, even though we're not here to make people comfortable, in fact, we're here to do the contrary. But you know what? Making people comfortable is how you grow big YouTube channels. Making people, empathizing and sympathizing with people, that's how you grow great big YouTube channels. But guess what? That's the way it's been done. We're fixing to do a new thing. We're going to build a huge YouTube channel with 1 million subscribers by breaking down paradigms and pushing people out of their comfort zone. Not pushing them, but maybe giving them a wee little nudge out of their comfort zone. We're going to do it the right way. And it's going to take longer, but we will get it done in the end, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cousins of all ages. And here's how we're going to do it. Roughness and rudeness are not called for. So that's why I am consciously working to not be rough and rude anymore, or at least not so much. Sometimes you got to be a little rough. Sometimes a bitch needs to be slapped around a little bit. And I'm not advocating domestic violence. Everybody's a bitch. Everybody's a dude. And everybody needs to be tuned up and turned up every now and then. Metaphorically speaking. So roughness and rudeness are not called for, even though sometimes they're good entertainment. But what is called for is a real world attitude of let's get to work. Let's get busy. And really, what the auditor needs to supply and what I need to supply, and this came to me yesterday or the day before, I can't remember. But I was thinking, why was I ever into stand up? It's kind of a waste of time. It's kind of silly. But then I realized that as I read this, it was yesterday because I read this in the book, and I've read this book at least 5 times, but this time it jumped out at me, that the auditor needs to supply determination and a grin for the client that is getting auditing. In this way, an auditor is like a personal trainer for the real body, the real you. And I realized that I have been for the most part, I've been all hammer and not much. I've been all stick and not much carrot, right? So what I'm probably going to try to do, and I'm probably TMIing you here, but what I'm going to do is, where in the past I have used anger and rancor and attack. Like I've used the bazooka on every problem, even the gnat. Now I'm going to employ humor as a way of revealing the ludicrosity in people's thoughts and beliefs. Will we still get mad? Will we still get passionate? Will we still sometimes blast? Yes, when it's needed, it should be done. But the bazooka shouldn't be used for the gnat. You should save that for the thing that needs the bazooka, the big thing. So what we're doing as an auditor, and when you think about auditing yourself, and you're always auditing yourself, if you're trying to improve yourself, be courteous in your treatment of pre-clears. Be courteous in your treatment of you. See, your problem is that you've listened to the church for 2,000 years tell you that you need to come to them so they can save you from the sin they gave you. They are trying to tell you that you were born with original sin, and that's their idea, but they're the only ones that can set you free from that. Wait a second. That's like the drug dealer that got you hooked on cocaine telling you he's the only one that can help you get off of cocaine. Best not to start the cocaine in the first place. And you didn't know Edison, so I'm sorry, but you don't know what you're talking about with Edison. You didn't know him, and you shouldn't talk about what a terrible person he was. Come on now. Did you know Edison? Yes or no? Well, then you don't know if he was an awful person. You're repeating something that you read or heard about somebody that you never met. Is that kind? Is that rude? Is that rough? You're doing like Jeff would do. Maybe it's better, instead of saying, oh, Edison was rude, say, I wonder if he was rude. Let me look. He was a terrible. How do you know? You didn't know the man. And just about everybody that history says was a really, really terrible person was actually a pretty remarkable person. And everybody the history says was a great, great person, probably not so much. So come on, let's check ourselves before we wreck ourselves. Be courteous in your treatment of pre-clears. Be courteous of your treatment of yourself and others. Be courteous and be quiet. And this is so powerful, because when you're working with people, you have to stay quiet, because anything you say can re-stimulate and create new engrams. And this is a key to helping yourself. Here's the reason why most of you never get any help, because you're never quiet. Think about this. I'm going to get in your business now. I'm going to get in your business right now. Think of your life. You wake up in the morning, probably with something jammed in your ear that's been feeding noise into your brain all night long. No quiet. And if you don't wake up with something jammed in your ear, the first thing you do is pick up a remote and turn on a TV or turn on a radio. Why are you afraid of quiet? Because when you're afraid of quiet, you're afraid of what comes to your mind in quiet. Tracy says, I love silence. Advanced spiritual people love silence. They deal with silence. They're not afraid of silence. But you get in your car, what's the first thing you do? Turn on the radio. You know, there's been many times, you know, I do a lot of driving. I've driven I've driven hundreds and hundreds of miles and never turned on the radio. Why? Because I'm being quiet and I'm focusing. You get to work, you put the thing in your ear, you come home, some of you put your keys down and you turn on the radio, you turn on the TV. Why? You got to be quiet if you're going to get clear. You got to be quiet if you're going to get optimized. And if you don't, you won't, and it's your decision. Be quiet. Stay focused on the work. Be trustworthy. Keep your word, even with yourself. I started something yesterday. I started a couple things yesterday with Igor on YouTube. I can't remember his last name, but you'll hear more about him. And it's, you know, it's some physical stuff, but you do something every day for 30 days. A lot of you don't even trust yourself because you can't get anything started. And when you do get things started, you can't keep it going. You can't complete it. You can't finish it. Can't finish it. So you don't trust yourself. And I don't blame you. Build trust in yourself and build trust in others. Keep your word. I am going to do this every day for 30 days. And I owe it to myself as a commitment. And when I say something to you, I'm going to be, and speaking of commitments, if you ordered the thumb drive from me, I can't make the thumb drives. I downloaded all the 3,000 videos. I got them on an external drive. But when I go to download them onto a thumb drive that's big enough to hold them, 15 hours. I'm sorry, I don't have 15 hours to let my computer download a thumb drive. So I'm sending everybody back their $100 that sent me for the thumb drive. I just can't make them. Sorry about that. Be courageous. Never give ground. Never give up. Never surrender. Never violate the fundamentals of the auditor's code. And be thorough. Don't do a half-assed job. My granddaddy used to tell me, if you don't do it right the first time, you'll always have time to do it right the second time. Be persistent until your goal is achieved. And here's a big one. Be uncommunicative. As an auditor, you never discuss the details of the case with the client. Well, how am I doing? How am I working? You don't do that. You don't discuss that. How does that relate to us working with ourselves? It relates to our communication with each other, our communication with ourselves. You know, the communicative person with themselves says stupid things like, why am I so fat? Why are you asking yourself dumb questions? Because if you ask yourself why you're fat, it's going to give you all the reasons why you're fat. Your brain is. But if you start thinking about how you can be your ideal weight, then your brain will start giving you all the reasons and ways that you can be at your ideal weight. The quality of your life depends upon the quality of the questions that you habitually ask yourself. Think of the questions people ask themselves. Why am I so stupid? Why am I so ugly? Why can't I get a good job? Why does anybody love me? Why can't I find a good house? Why can't I be thinner? Why can't I be prettier? Why can't I be... How come I'm in this? How come it's that? Think of the questions you ask yourself. And some of you need to just shut the hell up. You do. The first step in not asking yourself why you're fat is to stop asking yourself why you're fat. Zip it is the first step. Then you replace it with powerful questions. The first thing you need to do is stop saying, why am I fat? Why does nobody love me? Just shut it. And then you'll get to the place where you want to say that and you'll be, you'll be quiet. And then you'll say, how can I get to my ideal weight? How can I become the person that doesn't need another person? And in so doing, you'll be a person that's attractive to a person that would be helpful to you. Until you're comfortable with being alone, you will never have an ideal relationship. And until you're comfortable with being alone, you're not getting out of this matrix. You slow down and you hamper your work when you ask yourself bad questions. You slow down and you hamper other people when you violate any of these rules that we've talked about. The person that is really good at Dianetics, and this is a reason why I'm really good at it, and you'll be able to see this. The person that's really good at it is the person that says, I will sit right here and whistle while Rome burns down around me, and I'll do it with a grin. That's the person that'll get the best results with themselves and the best results with others. I just resolved, look, I will do whatever it takes to become an optimized person if it kills me. Because it will kill you. It'll kill the unoptimized you. It'll kill the lower you. It'll kill that reptile you. Brr, it'll die. Oh, it dies. If you could see it there, it's laying there with its belly up. It's dead. That's the way you get results. When Cortez came to the New World, He had his men unload their ships, and then they burned their ships in the harbor. As a result, Cortez's men were highly motivated. That's the problem most of us have. Most of us are not willing to burn our ships in the harbor. Most of us are not willing to burn our bridges because we think, oh, well, I might have to get back on that. I might have to go back across it. You'll never get out of here until you burn your bridges and burn your ships in the harbor, and you'll never, ever grow until you light that mofo up. The auditor is the great shepherd of the sheep. With no respect to your script, the auditor is the great shepherd of the sheep. Now, I want to catch you. I want to ask you something. I just caught a lot of you right there. A lot of you had, when I said the auditor is the great shepherd of the sheep, a lot of you had an angry, defensive, automatic, emotional provocation when I said that. The auditor is the great shepherd of the sheep. Something rose up in some of you like, ooh, you can't say that. That makes me mad. That makes me angry. No, you can't say that. Why? Ask yourself, why did you just have an angry, defensive, or emotional reaction to me saying the auditor is the great shepherd of the sheep? Because you're programmed and you've been implanted with MK Ultra Black Dianetic triggers. I'm going to illustrate this to you and show you how, what's the word I'm looking for? It happens, but you can't even see it happen. It sneaks up on you. What's the word I'm looking for? It's so, you know what I'm talking about. Insidious. That's the word. It's so insidious that it rises up in you because you've been programmed for 2,000 years of who the great shepherd of the sheep is. You've been programmed for 2,000 years of who's the shepherd and who's the sheep. And then sometimes we start talking about, anyway, see, that's me growing right there. You've been implanted with trigger words. When someone says shepherd, something fires off in your mind. When someone says sheep, something fires off in your mind. When someone says great shepherd of the sheep, something fires off in your mind. Let's look at this. What is that? That's Romans. That's Hebrews. Hebrews 11, 20, 19 and 20. I want to show this to you because I want you to see something very, very powerful here. I want you to see how you're MK'd ultra'd, how you're mind controlled, and how you are Stockholm syndromed, where you'll fight against people trying to set you free on behalf of your captors. So here's the part. The great shepherd of the sheep. Well, that's our Lord. That's Hiru Distu. I don't like to say these words because they're magic words and they run tapes in your head. So Hiru Christu. PJ, Plastic J Man. He's the great shepherd of the sheep. So how can you say that the auditor is the great shepherd of the sheep? Because you have a basic misunderstanding of what the sheep are and what the shepherd's there for. See, you think you've been told that you're a sheep. Oh, I'm a sheep. He is our God. And we are the people of his pasture and the sheep of his hand. We're the sheep of his hand. I bind the power of those stupid ass words. You sing that shit Sunday after Sunday. You got the pictures of him holding the little sheep in his arms. He's carrying it to the place to fucking kill it and eat it. What's a shepherd's favorite meal? Sheep. And he does some other things to sheep when he's not eating them. Reminds me of an old joke, ladies and gentlemen. It's joke time. Joke time, ladies and gentlemen. Joke time in the heartland. So, Cowboy's walking through the desert, comes across an Indian sitting down around a campfire. The Indian's friendly, he invites him in. The cowboy is a ventriloquist, so they're having a nice little talk. They're having some whiskey, so they're a little bit, a little bit feeling good. So the cowboy decides, I'm going to mess with this Indian a little bit. And the cowboy says to the Indian, hey, do you mind if I ask your horse a question? Indian's like, no. So he asked the horse, he throws his voice. He says, hey, horse, is the Indian a good guy? And the horse says, and of course he's throwing his voice. The horse says, oh, yeah, Indian's a good guy. He doesn't ride me too hard. He wipes me down at night, brushes me. Indian's a good guy. Oh, that's cool. And then the cowboy says to the Indian, hey, Indian, you mind if I ask your dog a question? The Indian's like, no, okay. So he's like, hey, dog. The old Mark Wahlberg. Hey, dog. Hey, dog. I'm Mark Wahlberg. But hey, dog, how's Indian? Oh, Indian's pretty cool. He gets mad every now and then, but he always gives me some scraps, and he lets me hang out, and he cuddles with me at night. We stay warm. And then the Indian had a sheep there. And the cowboy says, hey, Indian, can I ask your sheep a question? The Indian say, no, sheep lie. So there's a lot of shit that goes on with sheep, ladies and gentlemen. And I told you all that to tell you that you're not a sheep. And you don't want to be a sheep, but you will fight with me that you're a sheep. Really? Do you want to be a little sheep? Because the definition of this word, do you see this? A probaton. And that kind of gets back to what they do with sheep, right? Sometimes they probe sheep. And sometimes they probe them a ton. Do you really want to be a sheep? Do you want to be a little sheep? Do you want to be someone easily led one way or the other? That's what the word means. And you've been fighting with me. I'm a sheep. I'm a sheep of his pasture. Well, you know what? Yes, you are. You're a sheep. You're a little sheep. You're someone easily led one way or the other, and you're getting probed a ton, whether you know it or not. And who is the one that's doing it to you? The shepherd. What's a shepherd? A shepherd is one that is the feeder, protector, and ruler of a flock of men. All of you Christian truthers, we're not sheep, we're woke, but what are you when you're in church? You're a sheep. Why can't you get it through your furry little woolly heads? They've made you a sheep, and you're afraid to realize you're a sheep once you get inside church, but once you're outside of church, it's funny when you think about it. It's funny when you think about it. Can I tell you, you don't need someone to feed you? Here's an idea. Why don't you feed yourself? You don't need a protector. Why don't you protect yourself? You don't need a ruler. Why don't you rule your own self? Why do you want to be a flock of men? We need people that are men of men, women of women. And by the way, that's the same word for pastor. So the sheep are really the dummies that do what they're told, and the shepherd is the one that does tell them what to do. And why do shepherds have those sticks? Because they beat the hell out of sheep. And why does shepherd have sheep? So they can shear them of their wool, take their valuables, and eventually eat them. And that's what this guy's doing to you. This guy is stealing your possessions, stealing your energy, and will eventually eat you. And he has you eating him and drinking him on a regular basis in what you call communion or Eucharist. And what's he trying to do? He's trying to equip you to do his will. It says right there, he's trying to equip you to do his will. What is the government trying to do? Equip you to do their will. What's the New World Order trying to do? Equip you to do their will. What are the globalists trying to do? Equip you to do their will. What is the Sanhedrin trying to do? Equip you to do their will. What are the Freemasons trying to do? What are the Bilderbergers trying to do? What's FEMA trying to do? What's the Fed trying to do? And this guy's doing the same thing that all of them are doing, but for some reason, you hate all those other people, but you love this guy. That's funny. Not only is he trying to get you to do his will, but he's trying to get you to build his dream. He wants to accomplish what is pleasing in his sight through you. He's using you to build his dream. And who's he using it? Who's doing it? This guy again. Who's going to get all the glory? That guy. And then, you know, it's a magic spell because they put that amen on it. So mote it be. Dudes, that's what you're doing, and that's what you're fighting to do, and that's what you're defending. Let me show you some shit right here, ladies and gentlemen. That right there is black Dianetics. This is white Dianetics. White Dianetics, black Dianetics shepherds you. Steals your wool, the things that are your valuables, takes your money, takes your time, takes your ass, literally and figuratively, and then will eventually it takes your energy, takes your power, and will eventually take your life. And then they'll bring you back again and again and again. I got to show you this verse. I always show, but I'm going to show it again because you guys don't believe me until you see it. This is what they do to you. Romans chapter 8, verse number 11. Let me get over here and then I'll show you. Romans 8, verse number 11. Stop sharing for a minute. Get back over here. Start sharing again. There's got to be a better program for this, but this is as good as I can get, and it works. So here's Romans 8, and we're going to go down to verse 11. And I'm going to show you what they're doing. If the spirit of him that raised up this guy from the dead, if that spirit dwells in you, who raised him up from the dead? The one you call the Father did. And it says don't call anybody Father while you're here on earth. And here's why. Because if you take in that Father spirit, which is an entity, he's the one that raised up this Jesus entity, invented him. And he that invented and raised up this JC entity, he's also going to quicken your mortal body by the spirit that dwells in you. You got songs for this too, ladies and gentlemen. You got songs for this one too. You got songs for this one. You sing the songs. He will quicken your mortal body if that spirit dwells in you. He will quicken your mortal body if that spirit dwells in you. And you sing it like it's a good thing. But you forgot to read the contract. What is he actually saying? He will quicken your mortal bodies. What is that saying? It's saying this. He will quicken. He will give life. That's what the word quicken means. He will make alive. What's he going to make alive? That which was dead, he's going to cause it to come to life. And what is he going to cause to come to life? Your mortal body. What is your mortal body? That which is subject to death, subject to dying, your mortality. He will bring you back over and over again to live and die as a sheep in his pen, using you up until he wears you out and there's nothing left. That's what religion does for you. That's what the Bible does for you. That's what the JC man does for you. That's what the Father does for you. And they tell you in your own script, and you haven't seen it. That's funny. Religion shepherds you into the pen for slaughter. That's black Dianetics. White Dianetics shepherds the Ingrams. You're not the one that we're shepherding in white Dianetics. We're shepherding the Ingrams, the demon circuits, the reptilian reactive mind. That's what we as auditors, as white Dianeticists are doing. We're shepherding the Ingrams into the pen for slaughter. So all of you brilliant Christians that talk about how bad Dianetics is and how stupid Jeff is, obviously, because, oh, you mean I'm not a sheep? No, you're not. You mean the Ingrams are the sheep? Yes, they are. You mean the shepherd was trying to herd me, use me, abuse me, and then eat me, and not in a good way? Yes. So what you're telling me, Jeff, is black Dianetics uses me up and then eventually kills me and eats me. Exactly. White Dianetics gets rid of all the demon circuits in me, puts them into a pen, and kills all of them, and I get better. Exactly right. Exactly right. Exactly right. Are you the shepherd or the sheep? Are you the shepherd or the sheep? And we're going to look at this last. Why do you think he's carrying that sheep? You know, oh, he's going to go cuddle with. No, he's going to cut it. He's about to make some, what's that called? Veal. He's about to have some veal right here. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to eat you. And he might be thinking, oh, yeah, I'm going to do something else to you before I eat you. That's why this one's saying, this one's jealous. Wait a minute, Jesus. I thought I was your special girlfriend. And he says, who are you? EWE. You think he's carrying it to be nice to it. Oh, he's got the sheep on his shoulders. That's because he's carrying it to the slaughterhouse. He's going to eat it. Now, may the God of peace, and it's really pieces. You know what? I need to show you this so you don't think I'm lying to you. I'm going to show you this in the actual text itself. Hebrews 13, 20 through 21. Hebrews 13, 20 through 21. Let's do that. Hebrews 13, 20 through 21. Come on, Jeff. Hit the right button, bro. Hebrews 13, 20 through 21. Watch this. And if you want to learn how to use this stuff, it's simple. This is BibleHub.com. I didn't make it. I don't get paid for it. But if you want to go to Hebrews, what was it? Hebrews, what was it? Hebrews 13. You just come down here and hit Hebrews. And then you go over here and you hit 13. Boom. And then if you just want to read it, just hit on like King James because, you know, bless God. So, Hebrews 13:20 we want to go to. Now the God of peace. He calls himself the God of peace. But remember, that same God of peace said, I didn't come to bring peace, but to bring a sword, to set the mother against the daughter, the father against the son. So he didn't really come to bring peace. He came to bring communism. He called himself the God of peace, but he's really the God of pieces because he's trying to break you into competing pieces, both internally, reactive mind, analytical mind, pieces, even in your bad Jeff, good Jeff. He's trying to turn you against people. He's trying to divide and conquer, bring us into pieces. And think about this. Does this make logical sense? This God of peace is using death. How can you use death to bring peace? That's the way the communists do it. Oh, shit, Jeff, you're saying that Christianity is communism. Ding, ding, ding. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Yes. But there's more. They're telling you, this God is telling you he's going to bring peace. And not only is he bringing it from death, dudes, you can't bring peace from death. You can't bring life from death. Death is death, and it can't be reformed or revived. Dead is dead, and whatever comes from death is death. So this God of peace, this Bible, is a book of death. And it says right here, the God of peace that's bringing this shit to you is doing it from death. And not only death, but the death of the Lord Jesus. Think about the death of the Lord Jesus. What was the death of the Lord Jesus? Let's see. They stripped him naked. They beat the hell out of him with whips. It's not even real. It's a story. But they beat the hell out of him with whips. Then they nailed him to a cross. Probably, arguably, one of the most horrific ways to die. And this is how this God of peace makes your religion. You know, you're all good about saying Islam's not a religion of peace. It's a religion of war. But yet you'll say a religion based on a torture and a human sacrifice that killed somebody has now created this religion of peace. You make no more sense than the Muslims do. You don't. And that's funny. And they shepherd you, steal your wool, all of your worldly goods and energy. And then they finally eat you because you're a sheep doing what you're told, when you're told, where you're told. And in case you forgot, what's this all through? Blood. Jeff, why do you say Christianity's blood magic? Because it is blood magic. They're telling you it's blood magic. It's a blood and death magic religion. You're a necromancer if you're a Christian. And they're going to use torture, human sacrifice of the firstborn, death to bring about peace, and they're going to use blood to do it. And they're going to do good works through death, through blood, through human sacrifice, through torture. Really? Really, he's Charlie Manson. He's trying to get you to do his will. And Charlie wasn't even guilty. That was all an act. But, oh, guess what this is too? Charlie Manson is the stage version of Jesus Christ Superstar. Charlie never killed anybody either, and all of that was an act, and so was all of this. Except people are really dying in this. So he puts you under blood, under death, under a curse, telling you it's peace when he's really getting you to do his will, do what is well-pleasing to him. For how long? Forever and ever, until he grinds you into powder. Through what? Through hoodwinking you with this guy. Wow. Now, maybe this will be a little more clear as you look at it and we wrap this up. Now may the God of pieces, who through blood and death, listen how this reads. You're serving a God who says he's a God of peace, who through the blood of the eternal covenant brought back from the dead the Lord Jesus. If I just read this to you and it wasn't about Jesus and God, it was about Michael Aquino and the Temple of Set, you'd be, oh yeah, they're using necromancy. They're bringing somebody back from the dead and they're using blood magic. You can identify it so easily in Michael Aquino and the Temple of Set. You can identify it so easily in Aleister Crowley and Thelema. You can identify it so easily. and other people, but you can't identify it right in your own script when it screams out in your own face. And he's going to be your shepherd, fucking you, stealing from you, and eating you to do his will and accomplish what's pleasing in his sight, because he hooked you with the hook. Jay looks like a fishing hook. He's a fisher of men, a catcher of men. They hooked you with this JC dude, and he gets all the glory and the praise and the money and the ass and the meat. And they seal it. And we get the privilege of undoing all that bullshit on people and for people. Dude. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. That's powerful shit. That really is. It doesn't get much better than that. It really doesn't. So let's look at some of these questions. I can't go all the way back, but you were found guilty before you committed any crime. Absolutely. Please like the video. The Jesus kebab, the J kebab. So horrible. Thoughts are sheep. Exactly. And Ingrams are thoughts at the end of the day. Very good info. Makes you stop and think it's supposed to. He is the Lord of the sinners. Hey, Lionel, what's up? You will appreciate the nano. It's great stuff. Steve says, watch it. Oh, we're all tasty in his sight. That's great stuff right there. I always held the staff. That's funny. That's funny. Flock off, shepherd. Yeah. Joel says, I'm a donkey. Nobody can lead me. Better to be called a jackass in this world. Love sheep are tied to sleep and usually on sleepers. Oh, that's right. How do you go to sleep? You count sheep. Oh, this is really good stuff. This is really good stuff. Let's see what else we got here. What else we got here? What else we got here? A lot of interesting stuff. Trying to find some dissenters. Don't have any dissenters in here right now. You got it, Jesus Manuel. They are dictating Bible scriptures. It's called prophetic scripture. Scripted prophecy. That's what it's called. Scripted prophecy. Good job, Jesus. You got it right. He's the God of the dead. Ooh, powerful shit. Powerful shit. Let's see what else we got. What else we got? Joseph, if they killed him in an electric chair, would you wear an electric chair around your neck? I don't think so. But yet you do. You do. You do. Wow. Wow. I will open the phone lines just for a few minutes because that's what I do. We make ourselves available to our critics. If they ever discover the balls to make the calls, they can actually call in and ask questions, make statements. If you can be interesting, if you can be polite, you can be heard. If you can't, you won't. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So we're going to open up the phone lines. There's the number on the screen. Here's the number in the crawl. And what happened to my phone number? Huh, my phone number banner went away. Oh, no, it didn't. I just missed it. So we'll give you a couple minutes to go ahead and call in, and we'll see what we got going on. Let me see. That's turned up right. That's in position. So here we go. It's not your normal Sunday. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Well, good morning, sunshine.
Good morning. What's up? Let me turn up my volume. What's that?
Little time change today, huh?
Yeah, just for the record, I was up, but I wasn't ready.
Sure. Jeff, did you happen to get my email I sent to you last night?
What was it about?
Metropolis.
I did. And I looked at it. I'm like, maybe.
Well, the final word at the end of the film is that the hands and the heart, the head and the hands need a mediator, which is the heart.
Ooh, so that's nice.
I think that would be a really powerful thing to explore, as well as all the other things that it covers there in the movie. But really, it's about having the will. Like, if the hands are ready to make work and the head is there also, it needs the heart there to see if it's actually a good work and a good thing to do.
Absolutely. And Sierra Fraley Pettigrew says that, she says, you opened my eyes to a lot of things, Jeff, and I appreciate that, but it's not accurate. I just helped you, gave you a little nudge, and you opened your eyes and saw things. I don't save people, heal people, wake up people. You do it. I just provide a little nudge, and I really appreciate that so much. I've never claimed 100% accuracy, and thanks, Brandon, for the call. I never claim 100% accuracy. I would say like 97.8432, that amount of accuracy. But I appreciate it, Austin, 100%. I really do. I appreciate it. She says, yes, sir. That's funny. Yep, that's what happened. You did it. I didn't do it. And just remember that. Just remember that. I'm like nanosoma. Nanosoma goes into your body and gets your body to remember to do what it's supposed to do. The receptors that are supposed to be on. Hey, you're supposed to be on. Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to be on. The ones that are supposed to be off. Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to be off. The ones that are supposed to, I'm supposed to, oh, yeah, I forgot my job. That's what nanosoma does. It helps your body remember to do its job. That's it. I'm 97.369% accurate. It reminds your body to do all of its jobs. And when your body does its jobs, then you are 100% healthy. And that's what it is all about. And it turns your hair darker too. And it turns your hair darker too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cousins of all ages, I think that we're going to go ahead and bring it to an end there, unless somebody else has a quick call. And the hair color is a receptor. There's a receptor in your physiology that turns off, gets clogged, and that's typically why your hair starts turning gray. Now that I'm taking the nanosoma, the receptors are turned back on, and my hair is getting back to its normal color. And it also has a lot to do with telomeres, which, as you get old, gets shorter and shit gets turned off, but nanosoma makes them longer again. It grows your telomeres. It actually, that's why if you heard Richard the other night talking about it, Dr. Raghu, who invented it, it's not really named Raghu, but it's Raghu Rashna Pama Samalama Kama Bama Bama Rama kind of thing. And we can't say it, so we make fun of ourselves for not being able to say it, not his name. He discovered he's aging in reverse. He gets tested every 6 months. It was 62, 50. Now it's down into the 40s. It reverses your aging process. So go to jeffreydaugherty.com and click on the nanosoma. It should, yes, it should. It helps your body optimize and do everything that it should do. Tom, I have heard anecdotal evidence that it does do that. Absolutely. Your jawline is more formal. I lost 50 pounds, bruh. Thank you very much. And I'm going to lose some more. And it's going to be great stuff. It really is. It is great stuff. Chloe says redheads go gray quickly. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Tony says, no, I'm not gay. No homo. I get it. I get it. You always make me think about things and look things up in the Bible. That's what I'm here for, Susan. And I'm very, very glad to hear you say that. It reboots you to your factory settings in your body. Well said, Tracy. And your body's perfect as created. So nanosoma reboots to your default factory settings in your body, and Dianetics reboots the factory settings in your mind. So together, we're going to get you cleared and optimized. Well, that is not your normal Sunday, and it wasn't, and it isn't, but it's always a good time. I appreciate every single one of you. Thanks so much to the cousins for being here. Thanks so much to our visitors for being here. I would hope that you would consider subscribing to this channel. I hope that you'd give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Please subscribe to this channel. Please give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Why do you care, Jeff? You say you don't care, and then you ask us to do it. Well, there's a reason why I asked you to do it, because the more subscribers that you have to a channel, it raises you up in the algorithm, which makes more people organically find you. It offers you up. It serves up your videos to more people that weren't specifically looking for your videos. Same thing with likes and even dislikes. It shows activity on your video, and it pushes you up in the algorithms. That's why I welcome the trolls and love the trolls, because the minutes that people are on your channel, the comments that people make, the length of time that they're on your channel, that all pushes you up in the organic rankings. So even when you get attacked, like I was viciously attacked a couple of weeks ago, I ended up picking up 1,500 to 2,000 subscribers, because not only do the attackers come and attack, and then they say, oh, well, that sounds pretty good. But people that don't or would not have seen it get to see it because of the attack. So I thank my trolls, because even though they're not real people get to see and hear, and we really appreciate it. So thank you, trolls. And I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower. This is the Unindoctrination Station. We're here to help you unindoctrinate yourself, create yourself, build the life you love. Late Night in the Heartland happens Monday through Friday, 10 p.m. till midnight Central Time. We do this show every Sunday at noon-ish. Thank you, Susan, and so are you. Peace, respect, freedom. I like it. Remember, you don't have original sin. You've got the spark of divinity within. You don't have to go on bended knee to anybody else's savior, because you're already divine. You're already sovereign. You're already free. We're the last generation of real humans, maybe the first generation of real humans. All we have to do is unindoctrinate ourselves and get busy, and we will take this world back. I still believe, I still know that this world is going to be better than it's ever been, sooner than you can even imagine, if we will just get busy. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower. It's been my privilege to be with you today. Thank you so much for being with me. And I salute you for being here, seeking after truth. We'll see you next time. Let's go ahead and get busy and unindoctrinate ourselves.